Hello, everyone. Oh, and hello, Cat.
Is the cat
Welcome to
back?
another
Oh, come on.
episode. The cat. Well, he's just hanging out,
Okay, okay.
having a good time. Um, Welcome to another episode of Bangers, Bops, and Banter. This is episode number 50,
Holy
50th
shit!
episode.
50th
Yeah,
episode! Woo! We got a great show coming up for you tonight.
we do. This entire episode is just nostalgia time. Um, so first we have some music and movie news to go over. Then we're going to be going over the question of the week, which is what was your favorite movie or TV show when you were five? Um, Afterwards, we're going to be talking about the Backyardigans self-titled album. And finally, we'll be discussing the Hot Wheels World Race movie.
Uh, just incredible pieces of work, all of these. So, very exciting to be able to discuss them
It's,
here
wow.
and in such a, academic context.
What do you think are the philosophical implications of Hot Wheels World Race?
that
Oh man, you want me to start now? Could write a
No, we can wait.
could write a thesis at this point with how dense that movie was.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's get right into. Oh, we have a guest. I forgot we have a guest.
Yeah.
Completely forgot to introduce our
I'm the
guest.
co-host
Guest,
Brendan. We have a guest.
speak. Oh, I'm Joe.
Hi everybody, it's Nuno.
Hi.
There you
Nuno.
go.
Thank you for
Hi
guest.
Brendan.
Yeah. All
I
right.
certainly
Well, we'll get into music news. This week in music news, it was not a good week to be Marilyn Manson. He has been accused of another sexual assault in a
Oh.
lawsuit.
Well.
And there is also an arrest warrant out for him in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Let's go to
Yeah,
Hampshire.
he's facing 2 counts of misdemeanor simple assault for allegedly spitting at a videographer during a 2019 concert. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a great guy.
No.
Mm. And there isn't really much music news today. There isn't much news this week. But trying to music news. So there was a $16 billion Save Our Stages relief fund.
Yep.
Which
Nice.
I believe that was awarded that was part of the SOS Act, it looks like. It was signed in December. And none of it has been distributed. Like none of it. Literally none of it. Yep. The website for it didn't launch until last month. And it received over 17,000 applications within 24 hours, and the site immediately crashed, apparently.
Awesome.
And it didn't come back online for more than 2 weeks.
Cool.
Amazing.
This is good.
But yeah. Currently it seems like technical problems have just made this completely impossible. It also has a bunch of bugs and glitches just this week. It flagged a bunch of complete applications as incomplete, which is not good.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
You'd think with
Majorly
government
bad.
funding you could get a website to actually work.
Guess not.
The Massachusetts vaccination page would like to know your location. Because that didn't even affect most people and they still screwed it up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So it's currently been estimated that like 90% of venues nationwide have closed. That's not permanently. That's just in
Yeah.
total. Um, and so the money here is like very important for these venues to actually get back up and running.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is pretty bad.
I know the one venue that I know that I think is still working on reopening, just because like bars haven't been a thing in Massachusetts yet, is the Great Scott. I remember, and this was like the most turbulent 3 weeks I think of my life, because it was like I think they declared that they were just going to go fully, they were going to fully close in like April,
Mm,
and I only found out about that from my mother, who had like seen it in a like a news article, and then the week after I found out that they had declared that they were going to permanently close, a bunch of folks banded together and collected enough money to try to keep them like open, at least in the sense of like once this is all over they'll be reopening, and they still haven't fully opened, if at all. But as far as I can tell, they're not in a situation again where they're going to permanently close.
Mm-hmm.
So the Boston indie underground scene will still be alive in that respect, but I can only imagine how many other places are probably suffering. The Royale and the Sinclair are still doing fine because I've bought tickets for events at both of them, but like, yeah,
yeah.
there's so much more that needs to be fixed, and the fact that they're screwing it up again is just like, come on, guys, get it together.
Ha.
Yeah. Brendan, were you gonna say something, Brendan?
No, it's fine.
No, okay. It's just amazing that it's been like almost a year and a half at this point of the pandemic, and they still have not gotten their shit together
Mm-hmm.
over
Yeah.
this stuff. Um, but yeah. Moving on to movie news. There's an Evil Dead sequel coming to HBO Max. It's being produced by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. But it's not directed by Sam Raimi.
Okay,
So we'll see.
that's interesting.
Be interesting.
Who's it directed by?
Uh,
Is it like revealed?
Directed by Lee Cronin. Maybe I've heard of them. Let me actually quickly check what movies they've directed.
Remind me, did they reboot The Evil Dead, or is that just
They did
Ash versus The Evil Dead?
no, they did do a reboot of Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a remake. I don't think it did well. I remember that it was not very well received. Uh, which I think that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lee Cronin, they haven't made any movies that I know
Okay.
of or have heard of. Um, yeah, we'll have to
Cool.
see how it turns out.
Yes, we will.
Um, Next in movie
Right.
news, uh, Amazon has acquired MGM
Yeah, I saw
for
that.
$8.45 billion. It's a lot
Interesting
of money.
acquisition,
Yeah.
honestly.
Um, I mean, at this point, Amazon is looking to monopolize like everything.
So,
So
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Has MGM done anything like
they
significantly recently?
I mean, not super recently. They have James Bond, which is the biggest thing.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Um, I mean, oh, I
Because
think
like
they also did Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Believe.
they
Yeah, which
do
I mean isn't super
Shark
recent, but
Tank. They're doing that Silence of the Lambs TV series. Are they?
Yeah.
They were. I'm not sure if Amazon's still going to be doing that, but uh,
They, hmm. They haven't done a
yeah.
ton of super notable stuff recently. They did A Star Is Born,
Mm,
as well as the as well as Creed.
mm-hmm.
Um,
honestly.
But yeah, James Bond seems like the biggest thing that they have going for them right now.
Yeah. Oh.
Um,
Now we'll be brought to you
but
by Amazon. Woo!
yay, wonderful.
We love corporations.
Amazon will now own RoboCop, and just like MGM, I'm sure they're going to do nothing with it.
I mean, there's not
They
much.
could
We
make
don't
another
talk about
shitty
that.
remake.
They could make another
Yeah.
shitty remake.
Yeah. All right. Finally, in movie news, last night in Soho, we finally got a trailer for it. Edgar Wright's new horror thriller film.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch it.
Cool.
It's a good trailer. There you go. That's it. There you go. That's the news.
Wow.
Would you? Wow.
Great news.
Yes. Which means now we're gonna be doing question of the week.
Wow.
And the question of the week is what was your favorite movie or TV show when you were 5?
Well,
do we want to start? Are we gonna go? Do we want to go over other people's responses first, and then we'll?
we can start. Nuno, what was your favorite TV show or movie when you were 5?
So my answer for this one was Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
I was a very big fan of it as a child. I've had a turbulent relationship with Jurassic Park just because, as a youngin', I adored it very deeply, and I found it very entertaining. I liked the part when the suit, he's pooping on the toilet, and then he gets eaten by the T-Rex. I remember being young and thinking that was hysterical, not understanding the gravity of it. Um,
Hey,
I
it's
remember
like not
seeing.
a. I'm just gonna say it's not a bad place to be eaten by a T-Rex because like when you shit yourself, like you're already on the toilet.
Yeah,
There's no mess.
no, like I understand that, but I mean, like as a kid, I did not register the fact that I didn't register the fact that there was a human life being lost so much as I was like, T-Rexes eat meat, so he's eating the guy, and also he's on the toilet, so this is funny. I remember loving all the scenes at the beginning where they're in the actual like the testing chambers. I remember being unnerved by the Velociraptor tearing apart the goat. But I also remember the peekaboo effect of they put the goat in the thing, and then there's the noises, and then they pull the thing out, and I'm like, but where's the goat? Where'd he go? I don't understand.
Wasn't it a cow? I thought it was a cow.
Was it a cow? Oh, you know what? The goat is, they give the goat to the T-Rex, but you see the goat.
Oh yeah,
It's the cow that they put with the Velociraptor.
yeah.
But yeah, but all of that was a lot of fun, and I remember like even the scene when Lady, she's being chased by the velociraptors in the bowels of it, and then she's like, "Oh, thank goodness, guy with gun, you're here to keep me safe." And then she touches his arm, and his arm falls, and it's like, it's a severed arm. I was like, "Oh, that's cool!" Like it's his arm, not realizing like, "Oh my gosh, he's dead." But all of that was like lots and lots of fun. I remember very vividly loving it. And then I turned 12 years old. Or no, I was 14 years old. And my school took us to the IMAX theater to see Jurassic Park in IMAX. And I remember, because at that point my ears had gotten even worse in their state. And so I remember the T-Rex in full IMAX, like surround sound, blowing my eardrums out with the scream, and from there I was like, all right, I hate this movie, and I am deeply unsettled and scared by this, and I don't want to watch the rest of it. Thank you. I want to go home, please. I ended up finishing the rest of the movie, but I was just like, I don't like this. This is scary. But luckily, we're back at a point now where I love Jurassic Park very dearly. It's still like one of my favorite movies, and it will always hold a warm place in my heart as the movie that made me see dinosaurs like alive and moving. That was the most profound experience because I was a big dinosaur kid, and so seeing them on the big screen was like crazy to me.
What a story that whole bit is, huh?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I have an irrational hatred of Jurassic Park. I acknowledge it's a very well made movie. I just fucking despise how they talk about the dinosaurs in that movie. Because
What do you mean?
the because the entire time they're like, they're killing machines. They're good. They need to hunt, and like the
Right.
T-Rex, it doesn't want a meal. It wants to hunt. It needs to it desires to hunt things and kill it. And I'm like, that's not how animals work. You dummy. You're a biologist. You should know this. Animals will just eat meat if it's there because they're not stupid.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know that it just I have a very mixed relationship with that movie.
That's okay.
Well,
Interesting.
I understand where you're coming from, but I don't know. I never thought about it like that. I was just like, yeah, he's big and scary and he likes to eat things.
the thing is, I don't when the dinosaurs are actually on screen killing stuff. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. There's a big animal. You want meat,
Hmm. Right.
but like when they talk about them, it pisses me off.
You must have hated Jurassic World then.
I haven't seen Jurassic World.
It's not good. Don't watch it.
Yeah, I figured. I've seen the first three, which, like the second one's just like I found to be unwatchable. But the third one is like hilarious, and how stupid it is.
Yeah.
So
The entire time, Goldblum, right?
Yeah.
is
That was
a
yeah. Yeah.
that's number two.
Is that number 2?
Yeah, number two is
Which
Jeff
one's the
Goldblum.
one?
The third
Which one was
one,
the one where they were on the plane and they're like, we gotta go back to get the people from Second Island. Was that the third one?
I think that's the third. Yeah, because that's it's the one where Alan dreams of the dinosaur that talks to him.
Oh
What?
yeah. Okay, I remember now. Yeah, no, the Jeff Goldblum one was so miserable.
Yeah. I just this one moment in the third movie, where they they're both separated, and one group hears the like walkie-talkie or whatever. Or
Mhm.
they hear it ringing. They have like a phone or something. They hear it ringing, and they run to where the phone is, and they meet the other group, and they're like, "Oh my god, we heard the phone ring," and they're like, "We don't have the phone," and then it's just a fucking flat shot of the Spinosaurus, and you just hear the phone ringing from inside it,
Yeah.
and it's the funniest shit. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway, uh,
What
I
about you
guess
guys?
my favorite, as far as a movie goes, when I was 5, I don't know. I didn't watch very many movies as a kid. I'd say probably Monsters Inc. Or maybe I saw a Winnie the Pooh movie in theaters, and I can't remember what it was for the life of me. Um, well, one of those would be my favorite movie. As far as like TV show, like I watched a ton of MythBusters as a kid, and it was very fun. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mythbusters is great. Me personally, I
Always a
think
dear classic.
movie, it was probably like Shrek 2. I remember every day me and my sister would come home from school and we would have the option of either watching Shrek 2 or Lupin III and the Castle of Cagliostro, both of which are like some like favorite movies as a kid. Love those. Still love Castle of Cagliostro. Been a while since I've seen Shrek 2 though. Sure, I'm sure it still holds up though. I mean, it's Shrek 2.
you had the choice between only those two movies.
Yeah, I don't know why it was only those two movies, but like it was those two movies. We just had the choice between those two. We had, like our family owned other movies. We just those were the only two that we watched. I don't know. It was weird. My I'm not gonna go into it. Anyways. TV show.
I'd love to be your parents and just be like, can't you please pick something other than Shrek?
I don't think they stuck around to watch. I think I think my mom just sat me and my sister in front of the TV and then like went off and did her own thing. So
Mm.
yeah, good parenting. Don't worry about it.
I'm sorry. That went way darker. My mind went way darker than it was supposed to be. When you said they didn't stick around, I'm like, oh my gosh, Brendan, are you an orphan? Were they just like, here's Shrek 2, and they just, while they're occupied, we're out of here. Not my problem
Good
anymore.
strategy.
That's the real reason why he was only ever watching Shrek 2, is he was hoping his parents would come back one day.
TV show would probably be. I was big like Jimmy Neutron kid.
Ooh.
Because there was like Danny Phantom, Jimmy Neutron, and Fairly Odd Parents, right? Jimmy Neutron was probably my favorite of those three. It's been forever since I've seen Jimmy Neutron. It probably doesn't hold up.
It really doesn't. It's so ugly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the plot lines are kind of, Jimmy Neutron's really insufferable, and you're just like,
Yeah, it makes sense. Unfortunate.
Man. We get some other responses to the question of the week. We have one response saying Miracle in Lane 2,
Yeah.
starring Frankie
Yes.
Muniz.
It's a
Just
Disney
saying,
Channel original
no
movie.
idea. No idea. All I remember is that I'm pretty sure Frankie Muniz is in a wheelchair. I need to watch this
I
movie
have
now.
no idea what
What?
this movie is. This looks incredible though.
I've never heard of this movie.
I don't think anybody has.
Yeah. I'm putting it on my watch list now, though.
Expect a letterbox review soon.
Yes. We have another song that says Blues Clues. Fucking amazing choice. Blues Clues
Great choice.
is fantastic. Tom and Jerry or Pink Panther, also good choices, although fuck Jerry. Jerry's a piece of shit. He's fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
You know. We have another response that says Hotel for Dogs. I
Honestly,
have
that's a
vague
fun
memories.
film for a kid, I think.
Fun film.
I forget that some people in this like server are significantly younger than us, because I remember seeing the Hotel for Dogs response, and I was like, Hotel for Dogs, wasn't that like later than I was 5 years old? That's kind of a
Yeah.
late choice.
Yeah.
Come to find out,
Like
2007. Like
2009.
that's
2007.
2007. I just checked the IMDb.
Oh,
But yeah,
interesting.
it's like it feels like it's so much more recent. We just got all these children in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some children in the server.
And then finally we have Land Before Time.
I've never had Land
good
Before Time
choice.
as a kid. I know a lot of people like cherish it though.
Land
Yeah.
Before Time was fun. Dinosaurs, or I think it was just called Dinosaur, which was Disney's CG version, which was essentially Land Before Time, but a little bit more grounded and based in reality.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing like the main dinosaur getting maimed by the one with all the spikes on it and being completely terrified, and that was the last time I watched a dinosaur. But for some reason, Jurassic Park was okay. So I think I was just a misanthrope as a child. I just hated people, but I had such great empathy for dinosaurs.
We should bring back dinosaurs,
Yeah.
Dinosaur lives matter. Okay. So
Y'all remember? Sorry, I'm just thinking like, y'all remember PBS? PBS shows slapped. Now that I'm looking at this stuff, like Peep in the Big Wide World, love that show.
oh my god, Peep was like fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Was
Red
it
Dog,
Between the
great.
Lions?
Between the Lions.
Between the Lions,
Great.
Bernstein Bears.
I never saw that. I don't think.
You never saw Berenstain Bears?
I don't think so.
Berenstain Bears was cute because it was just a slice of life. Like it was a slice of life before they started getting tainted by the Nippon. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay, good.
It would just be like Mama Bear and Chelsea Bear gonna go buy honey, and they're like, "Oh no, we lost the honey," and Papa Bear is gonna be upset because he wanted honey with his waffles. But then they go home, and Papa Bear goes, "No, it's okay. I actually ended up buying honey anyways, so we're good."
Wow, what
And you're just like,
foresight.
"Wow, what a heartwarming moment where
Uh-huh.
family they were concerned about one another, but Papa Bear came in clutch."
Nice.
Yeah,
Someday I wish I could be Papa Bear, Always coming in clutch.
big.
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 Brendan wants
I
to
don't
be
know.
big. That's what.
I want to have that dad bod, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Already
not
working
hard.
on it,
Just
buddy.
eat like a bunch of junk food.
Yeah.
There you go.
Already on it.
Well, you gotta hit the junk food equilibrium because if you eat too much junk food, you get into like actually like obese. But you hit that point where you get a belly, right? But it's not so much where you're like, oh, I feel bad about myself.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta be a dad, so that comes first.
Yep.
All right, and with that, that's it for. Oh, that's it
Oh,
for the question of the
we
week.
need a question for next
We
week.
forgot to
Um,
I think we forgot to everything for next, or
no,
almost everything.
we have
But we
the
have,
other stuff
yeah.
because we're doing the thing. We should do a
Oh, wait.
question related to that thing, perhaps. What's your favorite wall?
No, that's so bad.
What's the best
Wait,
Pink Floyd album?
Really? Wait, you guys haven't done that already for a podcast episode?
What?
The Wall?
The Wall?
No.
Yeah, we haven't.
I guess so. Huh? Spoilers, but yeah,
We haven't touched
very
any
excited.
Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
We could do what's your favorite Pink Floyd album? I know there's one person that has a strong opinion on that.
It's Jason.
It's Jason,
I know.
and he's wrong.
Wait, what does he say? Does he say
His answer is metal,
It's
isn't
metal, yeah.
Oh God! Oh jeez! Like I can't.
I don't know
I
why.
understand.
He just loves metal so much.
I can understand like Dark Side of the Moon, even though I disagree with that choice.
Yeah.
I don't understand metal. Metal's kind of a mess in a lot of ways. It's a very good album, but it's still a mess.
Yeah.
Every time Jason hears a submarine in a movie, it's just, oh, hey. And that won't translate to the recording.
He did a cool dance move for everyone watching.
It's you. I can't see Nuno's videos. So.
I'm the only one who gets to experience
I
it.
completely forgot that Brendan's thing is still completely decimated.
It's so fucked.
But I mean, we can do best Pink Floyd album. I think I was like thinking of a question.
Okay.
Really, before, and I just
down. Like.
Yeah, I should. Because I've forgotten what it is. But we'll do. What's the best Pink Floyd album for next week's episode?
Okay.
It relates to the theme.
It does relate to the theme.
So
I don't know. What's your favorite wall? Is like pretty relatable to the theme, and also a good question. There's some great walls out there. The one
Wall of China.
Wall of China. There's
one's cool.
The one that got teared down
Wall
by Mr. Gorbachev.
Yeah.
And also by Pink Floyd.
What's it called? There's the wall that separates me and Brendan in our relationship.
Yep. we're currently trying to get past that one, but it's a very significant wall we found.
Mm.
There's my bathroom wall. Love that one. It's got a lot of
Nice, yeah.
personality.
Yeah. Yeah. I can barely hear Brendan when he's in there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um
Okay, moving on.
okay.
We don't know how to transition from the bad jokes.
I get distracted. No, I got distracted because your mic is half of your screen now.
Yes.
And you also have a clown nose on it. For whatever reason.
Well,
Oh,
where
word?
else am I gonna put the clown nose? Huh?
In a drawer on your nose.
Well, it's there now.
Okay. Alright, well let's get into the album of the week, which is the Backyardigans self-titled record.
Oh my god, this album
Um
slaps. Anyways, Joe, you want to say why you chose
it's
this?
sort um I don't remember why I chose it. I just did. Like I stumbled across it for some reason. Or I remembered I was thinking of Backyardigans, so I looked them up on Spotify. I found this. This is unrelated, by the way, to Castaways becoming like a TikTok meme.
Oh,
I
is
just
it? I thought
thought
you
of
chose this because Castaways was a TikTok meme.
no, I just like thought of Backyardigans
Oh,
and
okay.
then like went to their Spotify and was like, you know what, we're gonna do Backyardigans.
That's hilarious.
Why?
Because you were like, oh,
Um,
this one has Castaways on it. Let's do it.
yeah, because Castaways is a fucking
It
banger.
is a fucking banger.
It really is.
Um,
Bossa
it's
Nova is just an excellent genre, though. But
this is just like a really great track. I don't know. It's too short to be honest.
It
It
is.
just has a super catchy hook, and like it works wonderfully. Um,
I
yeah.
mean, I personally, I feel like a lot of things on this album work wonderfully. Like, I was actually surprised how much I like this album. Uh, it's just like a really good like children's album. There's lots of really fun songs here. The instrumentation is surprisingly rich, like across the album. Uh,
Yeah.
and like you can definitely tell that like a lot of heart kind of went into making these songs.
Mm.
And they turned out, I think, really well.
yeah.
Personally, I don't know about you guys. Castaways
Yeah.
definitely a highlight as well.
So actually, it's a fun thing about the instrumentation itself. And don't quote me on the number because it's been a while since I watched the video. But one of my housemates who had told me that Castaways was apparently a fad now, he showed me this whole video that was just analyzing Castaways and like why it's good and why bossa nova is such an excellent genre and how it happened. And there was at one point they source an interview with the guy who did all of the music for it, like the instrumentation. And the guy mentions he's like, yeah, Nickelodeon gave us like a really large budget. I think it was like $24,000. And it might have been bigger because even now that feels really small. Just because his whole thing was like every single instrument is an actual instrument. He had when he needed strings, he hired real people to do the string instrumentation, like to play
Oh.
an actual violin and to do all that. So this guy, he had a massive budget, and I'm gonna look this up right now. Um, but like, yeah, it's he had all the money in the world, which makes me think it probably wasn't 24,000. But he had tons of money and tons of time, and Nickelodeon was just like, yeah, just make us good music, and like go for it. So the other thing that I want to note, like part of why this album didn't make me so miserable is on top of the instrumentation, the kids can sing. Most of them can sing very well.
Yeah.
Um, which is in stark contrast to most children's music where they like pick 6 or 7 random toddlers, hand them a script even though they don't know how to speak yet, and go, all right, sing like this, and the kids just go, row your boat gently down the stream. It's like you're just like, gosh. But these kids, like, they had singing talent. They were probably, they probably had auditions for these kids to like, can you sing? Voice acting we'll figure out later on, but can you sing? Because the other thing about the Backyardigans is every single episode had a genre of music that it wanted to showcase. And so like music was the focus of the show, and they did an excellent job with it.
Yeah. No. They
Yeah.
really did.
I definitely think that's the best part about the record is specifically for kids. And I mean, within the broader context of the show, is that it does expose kids to a lot of different types of music, um, which is, really great to get kids into different, sounds and styles and stuff. I think it really like opens you up just like mentally to not just other forms of like art, but also other cultures and people and so on. Um, yeah, and I think it's really cool that they got all these styles in here. Um, yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean definitely.
yeah,
Like you have a ton of different genres from all over the place between Castaways or Buffalo Girls and Boys or Laser Limbo Tango, Limbo Rock. It's just
yeah,
there's a lot of different stuff, and it also makes for like a pretty um, distinct listen, I'd say, across the record.
yeah,
I'm not gonna get any of these songs like confused with any of the other songs because they all just think they have their own personality.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's really really cool. All of them
So
have
called. I
really
was
oh
no, no, no.
I
Continue.
was just saying a lot of them are like have like catchy hooks and stuff too, which helps. So
Hmm.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was gonna make a joke about like I've never heard this much diversity in genres since listening to a King Gizzard album, and then you had mentioned that every single song is distinctly like its own thing, and I was like, as much as I love King Gizzard, there are some of the like there are several songs on several albums that sound like each other, and so you kind of lose the mesh in it. But with this, and the other fascinating thing about it, and I guess part of it is because of the fact that they're not going for like a motif or going for a message. This is just music from the shows put onto a CD so that parents can buy it and play it for their kids. Um, there's all of the focus and all of the love for each song is put into it and treated like its own thing, as if this was the
Mm,
only thing you were going to hear. And that weirdly, especially with the way that they set up all the tracks, they have kind of a nice flow.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have like rockabilly lullaby having it right at the end, just to sort of like time to go to bed, kid, but also to like send the album off. The fact that the Backyardigans theme song goes so hard, only 1 minute, and yet like that starts up once this track started, this album from the beginning was like promising greatness. Because the Backyardigans theme song goes hard, and I will stand on that.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just that guitar like gets your feet moving, gets your hands tapping, and you're just going.
I know I'm going to my backyard to play with the Backyardigans because they're cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
they're like 5, Brendan.
Well,
That's not okay.
when I was 5, I would do that thing, playing with them. I didn't actually. I didn't play them in the yard much. I was allergic to mosquitoes as a kid, so I didn't really like going outdoors.
Like how allergic? Like
I
you'd get what? You'd get bumps because it's
would get
like,
like big bumps.
oh,
Like people you get like mosquito bite. It's like a small thing. It would be like half the size of my arm. It was bad.
oh, ooh,
um, yeah. Fun times. Fun times. I do want to say, as much as I do really love this album, I do think it has a couple shortcomings. The first being that a lot of these songs are just so short. There's some songs that
mm,
they just leave me wanting more, like Castaways. I just
Mhm.
I wish there was more to it. There are also points here and there where I think the writing is lacking a bit. Specifically, I think a low point on the album being "Pu" Stinky Swamp Song. Just really,
Well,
really not, really not up to snuff, if you ask me.
it's you got to watch it in the context of the show.
Uh huh.
They're in a stinky swamp, and they had to avoid getting hit with
The
the
stinky
water.
bubble.
Yeah, the stinky
Yeah.
bubble.
Okay.
Because otherwise you'll be very stinky and no one will want to be your friend.
Yeah.
No,
Also,
PU
this
is
track is
definitely
really catchy.
I don't know.
I had it as
PU.
Not my favorite track.
it's catchy.
I don't think so.
It's a catchy. It's got some great big band energy going.
It's got I have to agree with Brendan. I think again, it always comes back to instrumentation. The instrumentation is killer on PU,
Sure.
but the lines really are it is a slog. And I mean, I could make the claim that oh no, the fact that it's a slog, the fact that it's miserable is really it's reflective of the character's struggle as they're going through this swamp. They're not enjoying the swamp. But no, it's really it's children's writing. It's a funny song, about stinky bubbles that will make you stinky. And it's really that pretty dull. I even as a kid watching the Backyardigans, I think I remember PU not because of the fact that it was a good song or I enjoyed it, but because of the fact that it's an earworm. It's an earworm, and also it has a breakdown about describing things that are smelly. And I was all about that life, you know.
Stinky boy.
You
Yeah.
heard it here first. Nuno is a stinky boy. Thank you.
Smells like garbage, like dirty diapers, like moldy cheese, like mushy peas, like dirty socks
Mushy peas
on
don't
monster
smell
Mushy
bad.
peas aren't. Yeah, they don't smell
or
bad.
67-day-old meat.
Okay.
PU, look out. PU, watch out. PU, better jump. PU, sure,
Because
stinky.
they've clearly just never eaten rotten shark before.
Have you had rotten shark?
No, and I don't plan on. Yeah.
That's like a Swedish thing, right?
I think it's Icelandic.
Iceland?
It's like a delicacy.
What's it called? It's like Vargenstramen? No, Surstramen. I think.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
All I
Yeah.
remember rotten that food is the clip of Gordon Ramsay and James May eating it, and Gordon Ramsay has to spit it out, and James May is just like, I'm fine. It's not that bad.
Mm.
Just absolute Chad energy.
Some of the tracks. So back to the album. I wasn't a big fan of Laser Limbo Tango, just because it ended up just being the tango song, or not the tango song, the limbo song. I like the fact that they at least tried to give context to the limbo song, but it was still just the limbo song, and it's even as a kid, I didn't care that much about the limbo song. It was just the limbo song, can we move on to the fact that they're stealing the gem? I think in that episode they talk about it in Secret Agent, which absolute banger.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there are some things. Row Your Boat is similar, where it's row your boat, But I don't know. I don't mind. I think it's a good rendition of those classics.
Fair enough.
That is fair enough.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is booing?
Booing, it's scaring people.
Yeah, because he's like a ghost or something.
Yeah, in the
Right.
episode, he's a ghost, but he's sad because he can't scare anyone.
Okay.
Or wait.
No,
Yeah,
because that was the lyrics were like, nobody thinks I'm scary and everyone bullies me, but he keeps talking about booing.
Yeah.
like-
Oh, yeah, because I remember because he gets scared. I'm pretty sure in that episode it's Tyrone and Pablo's also a ghost, and
Okay.
Pablo scares Tyrone.
Okay.
Even though Tyrone's a ghost, he like I remember him running away screaming. So,
Interesting.
yeah, or maybe he wasn't a ghost. Wait, I think he was. Can't
The
remember.
song is definitely written from the context of someone who is a ghost.
Yes, I wasn't sure if Pablo was a ghost or not. I can't remember an episode clearly enough. Um, yeah.
So
Yeah.
another thing I guess I'll say, Brendan, you had mentioned that your issue with this album is that none of the songs are long enough.
Well,
Um,
there's definitely some songs I would like to hear more of, you know?
mhm. Like Queens Are Never Wrong.
Uh, yeah. I mean, like, I like that track.
Queens Are Never Wrong. It had girl boss energy.
It does, it does.
It does, except well, I'm pretty sure because in that episode, the queen realizes that she can be wrong and that she should apologize when she is. Pretty sure because there's a song later on.
Please and thank you, right?
Yeah, um,
I see.
which I think is from the same episode.
Maybe. That's so cool. Interesting. Those are
Mm,
such like strictly diverse songs. Because Queens Are Never Wrong is such a hard, like, I don't know what the technical term for it, but I think of like 50s lounge music.
mm,
Um, and then you have Please and Thank You, which is just, I guess it's waltz. No, it's not really waltz, but like no, it's you get the point. It's like there's so diverse, so like
mm,
drastically different. I don't know if even in the context of if like in the context of the show they might have sounded a bit better, but like putting those side by side, it's just oh, I wasn't crazy about Please and Thank You either. It
mm,
just kind of dragged on, but I don't know. What I was gonna say though about the songs not being long enough is, I guess, and maybe this only works if you're a 21-year-old listening to an album for babies. But I think what's great about this album is the fact that, and we mentioned before that it's supposed to be a sampler to kids of like this is what music is, and there's different genres of music, and this is how they sound like. And I would assume that for lots, there must have been some kid out there who heard Castaways and was like, "Wow, I really like this," you know, and so that
mm,
sort of sat in their head, and eventually they became big on like bossa nova. Or you might have had someone who for some reason was like, I'm all about PU, and they eventually were like really big into big band, you know, and
yeah.
they might have taken that sort of that inspiration from big band, and now they've made it into like their whole career. And I think in that sense it's perfect. It's perfect the way it is, because it really is just a sampler of here's this thing, and we've put in a lot of effort to make this the best that it can be, but this is not something that you should be consuming on its own. Like, go out, find the world, find the music that inspires you, and then make the music that inspires you, you know.
All right. That's one way of looking at it, yeah.
Change the world. My final message.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I don't know
Now
why.
I've
That's
got
like my
PU stuck
favorite
in my
fucking
head.
meme. I just gotta be
It's
honest with
so
you.
good.
I love it so much.
It's got a clean setup and payoff, you know.
It really does.
Mm,
All right. Do y'all have any more you want to say about the Backyardigans?
no, I think I'm good personally.
All right.
Uniqua needed to sing in a lower key.
I disagree. You're wrong. She can sing whatever key she wants to sing in.
I couldn't find the section, but I had mentioned earlier that there was a point where they clearly auto-tuned her because she just could not hit a note. And I could not find it on the second listen through, but there was one song where I heard it and it stuck in my head and it made me so angry. And I was just like, Uniqua, I don't know what Uniqua's doing right now. I hope she's like living a very healthy and lively career, but Uniqua, you got done dirty. They made you sing in a key that you could not sing. You were a much lower singer because everything was really weak. Everything was kind of airy, and I think if they just had her like one octave lower, she might have been a stronger thing. But the issue with that is then she has to fight with Tasha, and that's a whole thing because now you got two like low registers, and that's just not going to work out. But I hope Unique was doing very well, especially since I'm 20 years old, dunking on her performance from 16 years ago. Oh my gosh! I just realized that there is a reality where Uniqua might be going to my college right now, and I just don't know because these kids are probably about as old as we are right now.
They're a bit older than us, I think.
Little bit,
There were
little bit.
multiple people who played Uniqua. So
Really?
yeah, I think it's all the same for this album.
I see.
But I believe they changed voice actors
Hmm.
between seasons.
If you're the first Uniqua at me, uh, hit me up on LinkedIn, Nuno Bazarian. Like let's talk about this album. I want a Bop Stop exclusive with the original singer of the Backyardigans album.
Yeah,
Like
we'll reach out. And we have the clout to pull that, I think.
Definitely. All right. Um, I guess we're wrapping up
Yeah.
on the Backyardigans. Um, it's a really great children's album. Yeah, I think it's really great what they did with this album to just expose kids to a bunch of different genres of music. Um, it's cool, and yeah, I don't have a score for this record. I mean, you can check it out. Go ahead. Castaways is amazing. I don't feel like giving this record a score. I don't think it needs one.
Nuno?
Like this music is really not made for me.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
can go.
yeah.
Despite this music not being made for me either, I really enjoy this album, honestly. Like, I was surprised with how much I enjoy it. And the score might seem high, but I think it deserves it. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. It's, like, honestly, it's a lot of fun as an album. I would highly recommend it. Listen to Castaways. Banger, really. That's it for me.
I would honestly like. I think I would give this. I wouldn't go that high. I think I would give it like a 7.5. Just because there are some tracks on here that I just think are a slog. But the highs of this album definitely outweigh the lows, and there is no children's album I would be more excited to have as an earworm than this album. Um, Baby Shark, Eat Your Heart Out. We're declaring
Backyardigans were
war
here
on Baby Shark.
first. Oh yeah.
Mm.
Uh, Great, thank you. We love the Backyardigans here.
Again,
Yeah.
Uniqua, hit me up.
We'll make something happen there.
All right. I guess for that, we'll move on to the
Movie.
Abomination.
No, okay, this movie's great. This
I don't
week's
know about
movie
that.
is Hot Wheels World Race. Very prominently advertised, the first full-length movie. Yes, this is a Hot Wheels movie. Mattel makes movies for like all their toy franchises. There's like 20, 30 or whatever Barbie films. There's a bunch of was it Monster High films? Whatever their other toy lines are. I'm sure there's films for those too.
Transformers.
Transformers.
Or was actually no. Transformers was not Hasbro. Wait,
No, that is Hasbro, I think.
that is
I
Hasbro.
think Transformers is
Yeah.
Hasbro.
All I think of when I think of Hasbro is Sorry.
Hasbro's done a lot more than sorry. Um, but yeah, so this film is
It is Hasbro.
this film was like 5 TV episodes smushed together into a film. You can definitely tell when watching it because there's 5 distinct like races that they go through, because they start with the fire world, and then they move into the jungle world, and then the desert world, and then the ice world, and then finally the city at the end, and that's like the finale. So it also this I should say this movie's about racing Hot Wheels. They're never called Hot Wheels, I think, in the film.
They are.
They are called
right
Hot
at the
Wheels.
end.
Okay.
At the end, yeah.
But
Because the guy goes,
Hmm?
"These wheels aren't cool. These wheels are hot. Hot Wheel City." I don't know if that was racist.
Yeah, no, it was something like, yeah, it was something like that. It was just, this film's a blur, man.
I honestly, I kind of love this film. It starts out, we're introduced to our protagonist, I guess. His name is Vert Wheeler. And he's a kid, 16, just about to get his driver's license. And he goes and gets his driver's license, and he scores a perfect score. And because of that, some science dude was like, "Hey, you're one of the best drivers in the world. Come to my death race." And he's like, "Yeah, okay."
Yeah, without telling his parents.
He just goes. The other
Well, you
best
guys are
drivers in the
skipping a-
world are there too. There is Hispanic, Asian dude, black dude, and then white dude. It's what they
Was
are.
there an Asian guy? Was there an Asian guy?
Yeah,
don't think there was.
No, what is his name? Taro Kitano. He was the fire dude, the dude with the fire car.
Oh, wait.
He's Asian?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's Asian?
I thought he was the white guy you were talking about. Then I was like, Kurt Wilder is not Asian.
No, yeah, his name is Taro Kitano. I assumed he was from Japan with a name like that.
He does not look Asian in the movie.
I
That
think
would
they
explain
tried.
the random man bun.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, like, this movie had a budget of like 3.
The animation
That
is
was
so weird, and how like inconsistent the quality is. Most of the facial expressions and like actual like character movement looks
It's
so
really
bad.
funny.
Though,
It's really funny in how terrible it looks. Because, like, they'll make a face and you're like, why did they make that face? What? Why did they?
it's so weird.
But
the lady at the end, she is like a way better animated than like anything else, and I don't know why. But she just is.
No, she's not.
I think her face looks way better
She-
than any of the other faces.
She looks like plastic.
They all look plastic.
No,
That
but
check
like more
right at
so
the
than
end,
the
though,
others.
had the most animation out of all the characters. When she pulls out the check, the way it flapped in the wind, that I genuinely blew my mind.
We should say this
This
was made in
looks-
2003, so they weren't working with like the hottest tools, but
Okay,
there's still great animation at the time, definitely.
like, just for comparison, in 2000 by 2003, Pixar released Finding Nemo, which still looks amazing.
Yeah.
This film looks worse than Toy Story. So,
I mean, this film looks worse than A Bug's Life, so
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying, well, Toy Story is the first Pixar, like, animated film.
Yeah, but
so
like Bug's Life looks worse than Toy Story, I think.
it's fair.
That's
I wanted to run.
different conversation. What's up?
I wanted to run this conversation back a bit because we had addressed how the movie starts, but we didn't address the most important part. Why is Vert Wheeler driving in the race?
Because
He is just one of the
the Dr. Tesla wanted him to. He doesn't.
No, he's driving in the race to prove to his dad that he is capable.
Oh.
To prove to his dad that he knows how to do the right thing. There's this weird subplot of absent father that gets thrown in right at the beginning and right at the end, and there's no point to it. The only reason that they could explain why he was leaving is they went, he's in the military, he's in the Air Force, and he has to go do Air Force things, even though that's not how Air Force things work. You don't just get called up and go, it's time to Air Force. Because but yeah, so he gets Air Forced, and so he's like, "Screw you, Dad! You didn't come take me to my thing. You're giving me up." And the dad's whole thing is, "You need to be a team. You got to believe in your team." And Vert Wheeler has the smallest arc of any person, where he goes from, "I don't need people. I'm a team of one," and then the doctor goes, "Excellent. Now the second race, we need a team. Everybody gets a team." And then Vert Wheeler becomes the greatest team player in the whole world, and it's like, where was this? I was expecting, because then Marky ends up becoming the Vert Wheeler, where he's like, "I don't need people. I can drive however I want."
That
ends up
never gets
ruining
resolved
everything.
either. He's still just like an asshole
No.
by the end.
Yeah.
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 And the way we're introduced to him is he's skateboarding. He's like doing a competition with his friend, and he wins. His friend, like, he falls off his skateboard or whatever, and he's just a dick to him.
Yep.
He's just like, "Ha, what a fucking idiot you are," basically. Yeah,
Which makes
good.
it even weirder that he then calls his friend in to be one of the drivers, even though they're all presumably 16ish. So we don't even establish that his friend can drive, just that Vert Wheeler went, "Yeah, other guy, because we didn't want to make another model. You're
Well,
also driving this."
I think he mentions because they need like a fourth racer on their team, and he's like, "I only have so many friends who know how to drive."
He has one. He has
Right.
one friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that was afraid that this movie was going to get pedophilic by the way that right at the beginning Lena gives Vert Wheeler this look after Taro like dunks him? She gives him one of those, like, pushes the hair back.
Well, I don't know
Oh
how
boy,
old like Lonnie is supposed to be.
Lonnie.
Lonnie, yeah. I don't know how old any of
Yeah.
them are supposed to be.
Because they all look exactly the same age.
Apparently
Yeah,
Vert Wheeler is
except-
16. He does not look like a 16-year-old.
He is jacked.
Called. Which also reminds me, why were the what were they called? The wave racers, wave runners.
Yeah.
Why were they the only ones that didn't get sleeves? Like, I know why, but from the context of being a driver, why would you be like, these guys get things that keep them from catching fire, these guys get things that keep them from catching fire? The guys with rockets, though, like under their car, give them open sleeves. I want them to get the most road rash possible. Like, come on with this.
That's just incredible.
Um,
Also, can we talk about how like unbalanced those powers are? Like, first of
Uh-huh.
all, the Hispanic people, they didn't even get like powers. Their cars are just like normal cars.
No, they got the buzzsaw.
They
they
have
got
a
the
buzzsaw, and that's useless.
Because
They
nobody's
use it to
killing
cut
anybody.
They use it to
ice,
cut ice
okay.
once. That's it. The spikes guys, I don't really get how the spikes help with the sand, but apparently they do. So they get an advantage there, and then the spikes help on the
It's like-
ice, but we never really see that. Also, they don't start using the spikes on the ice until like halfway through the race, when it's like, dude, use spikes on ice. That's like obvious. I don't know. I guess that's just because we live around New England where we drive on ice. Okay, Fire guys get to go through fire, which is useful once, and then they bulldoze ice out of the way later. What's the?
And they also
then
break down several doors.
That's true. The Kurt Wilde, I don't think he even gets anything.
Street. So Kurt Wilde himself, he has the crossbow. The Street Breed, which is the dumbest name.
Yeah.
They had the drone because the guy does the whole thing where he's like, "You guys have never heard of a city before, but round here things get a little wild. It's called traffic."
Oh,
And the drone
okay.
goes up and it's where they have to go.
That was their special power. That's really dumb.
That was their special power.
That's so dumb.
It was Google Maps.
It's a GPS. But then the fucking Wave Riders, they get fucking rocket jump cars, which is so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. Not even fair. Of course he was gonna win. Anyways, sorry. Just wanted to rant about how unbalanced this race was from the start. Honestly, impressive that Burt Wheeler did not win every leg of the race, considering his car was so overpowered.
Mm-hmm. Can I gripe about how Lonnie, in her car, not explicitly not built for going through lava,
She decides to drive
saw
through lava.
Taro
Yes.
go through the lava and went, "I can do this." Also,
why didn't she use her jets?
Yeah,
I was expecting her to do that.
I don't know. The other thing that was confused, because I had assumed that once her car got destroyed, there was going to be a whole thing with like, oh, she's riding with Taro now, or oh, she's going to be riding with Vert now because her car got lost to the
she just gets another
Acceleron
car.
ether. It's just back. Like, and the cars were established to be one of a kind, so I don't know if he like kept them as spares, even though the Acceleron dimension doesn't break cars for some reason, or if he just like found a way to retrieve it from Acceleron land. But that was such a dumb thing, and it was a plot point that didn't need to happen, and I don't know why Mattel was like, we need to make drama. He has to be friends with Taro because we've established that Taro is an asshole.
Yeah. Honestly, I like the characters. I think they're all pretty likable, except for Kurt Wilde or whatever.
Kurt Vile.
Yes.
It is Kurt Wilde.
It is, I know. But
whenever I hear his name, I'm like, it's Kurt Vile. Oh God.
Brian Taro,
What's he doing in a race?
Was it Brian Taro, Lonnie, who's the Oh yeah, what's Benji, that's his name. I liked all those guys. I thought they were fun little cast of characters. They're not given a lot of depth, but they're just like just enough to where you're like, okay, he's a real person, you know?
No.
The only
No. No.
They're one-dimensional.
Their dialogue is so bad.
It's so good. I love it so much.
What was the deal with this Spirit Quest old man?
I don't know.
You need to come back to your people. They need you. But I need to do this race. No,
because he wanted to win the $5 million, right?
Yeah.
So he could help them.
Right. But like, there's this back and forth. The two times that he shows up, there's this back and forth where the guy's like not sure, is he real or is he fake? Because he said like, why did you come here? And then the old man goes, I came because I see a great danger in your future. And then he goes, a danger? What is it? And then the old man goes, I'm blind. But it's like, but then later on he establishes that like he's clearly a ghost. So then my question is, why is he asking like, why are you here? Why do you exist? Like, he's a figment of your imagination, dude. You know, like,
Yeah. I don't, I don't really. I have to say, I really don't have much to say about this movie because it was. I just like glazed over during most of it. It was just like, I did not. It was not fun. It was a frustrating experience. Or it wasn't frustrating. It was just insanely boring. Just like I don't care, man.
like this movie's bad. I can't hate it though, honestly. Um, it's just kind of ridiculous that it's a Hot Wheels movie, and there's so much
Hmm.
just stupidity in it. Like nothing makes sense. Nothing needs to make sense. They just need to drive cars on a track, and I'm
Mm.
happy because they
It's
do.
very, or you, no, I'm sorry, you
I
finish.
mean, because it literally like they get into the Highway 35 alien world or whatever, and it's literally just like, oh, it's just a Hot Wheels track, and then you just
Yeah.
go on the Hot Wheels track, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all I needed. That's what I was here for.
I did
Um,
find that actually a lot of fun. Oh, sorry, Joe.
no, you go.
Uh, I did find that a lot of fun, especially because this has been Nuno gets nostalgic about his childhood, the episode, which also ironically was the Christmas episode. Um, or not ironically, fittingly, but regardless, I was very big with Hot Wheels as a kid. I loved Hot Wheels. I did have Vert Wheeler's car. I do remember having it. I remember hating it. I still hate the design. I think it's a stupid design.
Oh,
It
yeah.
makes no sense. But I do
Yeah.
remember having
I love everyone in the film gets like a cool car design, and then you see Overt's car, and it's like a minivan.
I think it may have been supposed to be like a flip flop because it kind of looks like a slide,
I
but
guess.
I'm not 100% on it. But what's it called? Yeah, so back to it. I was very big into Hot Wheels. I had the loop de loop. I did not have the crash course, but I had the loop de loop, and I remember having so much fun with that. My friend had the crash one though with the turbochargers, and I liked the fact that the way that they did the turbochargers was they were like, it's alien laser electricity, and that makes them go faster. Because at that point I'd given up on trying to like this isn't how that works, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. Alien makes them go faster, and I was like, it's cool that they're trying to tie that in. Obviously it's not as cool as like a Transformers where you take the actual Transformers and they transform and then you make that into a toy, but at least they were like trying to keep it as still, oh, look at this thing, but now you can have the toy and it'll do the same thing sort of. I remember I don't think it was a T-Rex. I think they had like a shark though that had the same idea of it would you would drive the cars inside of its mouth and it would snap down.
Mm.
Um, and I remember that being cool. I didn't own that one either, but the fact that they had those little things as clear, explicit ways to try to sell toys, but still trying to like make it a Hot Wheels movie and remind you it's a Hot Wheels movie was nice.
Mm. Yeah. I don't know. It kind of just made me want to play like Trackmania or something.
Hmm.
Nice.
Um, I, I mean, like the tracks are cool. Having points. That's all I'll give it. I wish it was like shot better or more interestingly a lot of the time. I feel like in general, like car races just generally are not shot super well in movies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, and like there's so many interesting ways you can actually like shoot those sequences. And I just wish they did more with it. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This movie kind of just drained all my energy. Like it was like, yeah,
Can we talk about the elephant in the room right at the end?
What?
the
The robot lady
The
trying to kill
clear.
everybody?
Do you guys know when Terminator 3 came out?
I I don't know when. It was like 2003? Wait, it was the same
Yes.
year? Oh my god.
Yes. And do you know what featured in Terminator 3?
Hot Wheels?
A lady Terminator.
The Lady Terminator, the
Oh.
TX.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how fast they pumped out this Hot Wheels movie, but the fact that right at the end they just went, and now she's a robot! I was. I actually screamed. I was. Because the thing that went through my head was when they smashed the helicopter, I was like, how are they going to explain the fact that she doesn't die, right? Because this is like before they were like, oh, Acceleron, the cars don't break. Because also, side note, the fact that Acceleron made this track specifically for humans is a stupid plot line, and I think it's like the
No,
fact
it's
that they're
so
just like, it's just a
dumb.
thing. So dumb. But after all that, I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Acceleron has alien magic, and so things don't break. But then when they smashed the helicopter, I was like, how are they going to make her survive? They've just killed her on screen in my children's movie. And then she gets up and goes, don't you understand? I am a robot. I didn't think that was what was going to happen. I was angry that that's what they decided, and that's clearly just them going, Terminator is cool. People like Terminator, except they hated Rise of Machines, but don't talk about that. So we'll just put Terminator Lady, and we'll do the Terminator thing where only her eye is revealed, and you go, oh my gosh, she's a robot. But yeah, it was.
I want to read a quick review that
Mhm.
is specifically relates to that scene. In this movie, there's a part where a guy yells that those are human beings. But when I watched this as a kid, I thought he said those are human beings. And that really set the tone for my life at the time. You know, the line, the writing, not great. There's so many like one-liners in this movie, and all of them are like really bad.
Oh.
They're so
Like
bad.
I was just like, why couldn't you have thought of something that's like a little bit better? Can't, there's so many, and I can't remember any of them. I literally just can't remember any of them.
I remember one.
Would you like to share with
Every
the
single
class?
time Vert Wheeler goes, ride the wave! Come on, Dad, ride the wave! Like, he doesn't have to be doing anything. He could be taking a left turn, and he still decided to go, ride the wave! Like, shut up! We get it, you're a surfer! Oh my gosh, that was Vert Wheeler's only characteristic, is that he surfs. That's why Taro insists on going, surf rat, surf rat.
Yeah.
And then slingshot, he calls Kurt Wilde a slingshot because, like, your one moment, Vert, where you could do something cool and you go, nice job, slingshot. Like, shut up. So dumb. I'm full of so much rage.
all the characters are like so bad. It's kind of incredible.
Really.
I love them so much. Though.
Every single time the Puerto Rican says that one thing,
Wepa.
like, Wepa, that's
This
what
is
it is.
Wepa, and every time I just laugh so hard. It's hilarious. Wepa.
All I can think of is Waldo every single time he says Wepa.
So good.
And then from there, I was just thinking to myself, how much cooler would this movie have been if instead of going Wepa, the Puerto Rican guy just went, Mama de huevos! Just in the middle of my kid's movie, he was just like, yeah, suck my balls. Yeah, like, oh man. That was the most joy. I was in a similar boat as you, Joe. This movie, I remember half an hour into it, I had popped into the voice chat and I just told Brendan, I'm like, this movie is the longest, most miserable thing I've ever done. I hate this because the half hour, and part of it, because I think part of the fact that it was like 5 episodes meshed into one, but they didn't actually try to do that. That's why they kept the wheel transitions. Drove me crazy. I hated the wheel transitions.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
They killed all momentum that was going on in that moment, and I was like, all right, this is just a TV show. But like the fact that every single episode, every single section was an episode, it made it so much harder because it always felt like, oh, but this is the one. This is where it's finally ending, but it never ends. It just keeps going.
mm.
And I was just, it was such a slog. Like at some point my brain just shut off and I just went, "Oh, look at the pretty colors."
Yeah, about like 20 minutes and I was like, all right, oof. And I just started preparing for the podcast. Like I started getting news articles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come
Um,
on. All right.
just not a fun experience.
Well,
I would not recommend watching this movie to anyone.
I
To be
disagree.
honest,
But anyways,
unless you really like Hot Wheels or like nostalgic for it, like I would not recommend this at all.
you gonna give it a score?
Are we going to scores right now?
Let's go for it.
Oh man, one more thing,
Okay, never
because
mind.
I have more things I want to complain about. I'm sorry. Um, the gig arc was stupid.
It's so good. No,
And
he dies and then he doesn't. Spoilers.
I reinstalled Windows and now he's fine. He literally says, "I just reinstalled the operating
He
system and
does.
now he's fine," which is not how that works. That's not how that works. You just took an electric shock and it just wiped Windows from your machine. No, he's melted. Like, shut up. And the other thing that drives me crazy is the fact that this movie is terrible at bait and switches. It is the worst. When they start the movie and they have the creepy scene where he's behind the guy and he's like, "I keep making cars and they never succeed." And then Gig goes, "Maybe you should make a new driver." And then he's like, "Yes, of course." And so the entire time they're setting it up where like, "Oh, he's evil. He's gonna do bad things." And then right at the end he goes, "I was just trying to do this to stop the ozone layer from getting any bigger. I was trying to save humanity with reusable, renewable energy." Just like, why are we doing this now? Why did you make him seem like a villain the entire time, and then right at the end he becomes a human? The fact that they were trying to pretend like Kurt Wilde wasn't Z37, which is also the dumbest name, even though his car was the exact same model, it was just black. The fact that he was on screen until Z37 turned on, at which point he was completely gone, like no presence of Kurt Wilde. Like, and then the fact that then Max, he was supposed to kill Max, and he goes, "No, I shouldn't." Like, they treat when he takes the mask off and it's him as if it's this like big, "Oh my gosh, it was him the whole time," and yet every single part of this was clearly like, "It's him, it's him. Did you pick up, child, that it's him?" Which is like, if you're gonna do that, just don't do it at all. At least Speed Racer had the decency to pretend like you didn't know it was Speed Racer's brother the whole time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I
All
guess
right.
I love his
I mean,
Power Rangers suit. It's so good.
I'll say that I didn't know it was Kurt Wilde because I didn't care enough to think about the movie.
Fair enough. Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing.
Okay.
That robot that robot was thick as hell.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd smash?
Like that robot, I was getting
Oh,
fat
you
ass
mean like
Germa vibe.
the ones in the like the flying things, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they had
Yes.
cake.
Yes. It was
Joe.
ridiculous.
Joe, did you see the cake on that thing though? It was insane. This movie's a fucking 10 out of 10. I'm done.
I'm disappointed in both of you. Am I still conscious? Is this what? Let me check my eyes. Well, they look okay. All right. This movie's terrible. I give it like a 3 out of 10. There you go. This is the conclusion.
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
Alright. Y'all just don't understand the masterpiece that is Hot Wheels World Race. It's greatest film ever made, really.
This isn't even like good bad. It's just bad.
5 out of 10. I had fun. Sometimes.
Sometimes. No.
All
I
right.
had to make my fun, and that's just no.
So tune
All
in
right.
next week where we review Hot Wheels Acceleracers Ignition. Just the
I'm gonna murder you.
no, it's gonna be so no. Trust me on this. This is so
You're gonna
good.
hear a knock on your door at 3 a.m. and it's gonna be me with a fucking shotgun,
Ready to watch Hot Wheels Acceleracers Ignition together,
ready
like
to destroy
besties.
all property you own, so that you can no longer watch Hot Wheels.
I will find a way. You cannot take
Ugh,
Hot Wheels away from me, for my wheels are also hot.
I'll slash your tires.
Fuck.
The fact
um,
that I had to like dig as deep as possible, and I ended up on archive.org just to find this movie, I think is a godsend.
It's on YouTube.
it's on YouTube.
I ended up finding out that it was on YouTube because the archive version
Yeah.
only has audio in the left ear, and I was gonna like blow my head off. But the fact that even then it's just only on YouTube, and it's only like 2 streams. One of them's in or 3 streams because one of them's in Spanish for some reason. Um, that is a godsend. The fact that this movie is like near impossible to find anywhere else is a godsend.
Um. Okay. I really wish it was more available, but that's just me.
Oh,
Anyways,
all right.
thank you so much
Well,
for tuning in today. I hope you had fun. It's episode 50. What a great episode number. Yep.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, next week, we have our question of the week is what's your favorite Pink Floyd album? After or fuck, I'm losing it because it's too much Hot Wheels.
Never enough
Um,
Hot Wheels.
we're gonna have another special episode next week. It's a wall special.
Wow.
We're gonna be talking about The Wall by Pink Floyd for our album, and also for our movie, and also the nostalgia critic The Wall, because we hate ourselves. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
so sorry for you guys.
It wasn't our idea, to be fair. We've been
yeah.
roped into it, and now we're where we are. We are where we are. At the wall. Okay, good
Yeah.
night.
Good night, everybody.